everybody, and welcome to the Positively Dizzy Phone-In Podcast. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, your host for this evening, well, every evening actually, and also the author of the Positively Dizzy book series, From Where This Show Came From. I really wanted to give you guys a chance to voice your stories, your experiences, either online or calling in. So the number to call this evening is 844-483-4763. Just want to say hi to Donna Joe, and my hubby is on as well. Welcome to the show. I can't believe it's been 20 already. It seems really in the infant stage still compared to so many of those others out there. But I'm just really happy to get to 20 and want to keep going. Next week, the next 2 Mondays, I will be in Scotland, but I'm actually going to be heading to the Disney store in Glasgow, and I'll do a little live stream for you guys because I love to visit Disney stores wherever I am in the world. Hello to Mike as well, who just joined this evening. And a special welcome to my Twitch folks as well. Don't want to forget about those guys. At any rate, it has been a crazy busy week. We are an Irish dancing family, as most of you know, and did a lot of shows. We did a big show on Saturday, and it was really fun because on stage just before our group went on, there was some Star Wars characters and the mayor of Galway, as well as our mayor of Seattle. And something that you may or may not know is Galway and Seattle are actually sister cities. So it's really kind of fun to meet up with people from Galway. And a lot of people were kind of wondering, why are there Star Wars folks on stage? And the reason why is the last 2 Star Wars movies were actually filmed in Galway, in Dingle, in Cork, and of course Skellig Michael on that island that I talked about a few shows ago. I want to say hi to Marissette, who has also joined. Welcome to the show tonight. I'm still thinking a little of the green, so I'm wearing my green vest tonight, but it's also very pleasant, about a 58, 59 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius. Have to put in the Celsius because I'm Canadian today, and sunny, which is a really nice break from the kind of the chill and the winds and the rain that we've had in the last few months. Want to say hi to Stan Solo. He's also joined us tonight. This is our 20th show, and I said that I was going to do something a little bit special on this show. And one thing that I thought I would do, that I actually brought back from Ireland a couple weeks ago, is draw for a Willy Wonka bar. And I'm going to show you proof that I have the Willy Wonka bar with me. And you know what? I've never even had one, but my sidekick here has had, I think, a few of them. Yeah? One? And how do they taste?
They're like kind of a candy chocolate almost. It's a little sweeter, but it's good. It's good. I like it.
A candy chocolate. Well, that sounds good. So one lucky person will get the Wonka bar. What I'm going to do, and I'll tell you a little bit also during the show for others when they join us, is if you leave a comment or whatever, your name will go into the draw for the Wonka bar, and I'll draw it and then I'll post it tomorrow. And anyways, right, this show is something about characters that we like, that we miss maybe from being in the parks before, our favorite characters. Why are your characters your favorite characters? And so I thought about it because I was kind of digging around in a storage cupboard in our garage, and I actually found the whole box of Vinylmations. I don't even know how many I have. I actually, now I'm curious. I'm going to have to count them tonight. But in that box of the Vinylmations, and they're not, I don't know if they're as popular. They're still selling them, I think, in the parks and that. But at any rate, I found my monster Vinylmation, which is this little guy here. I don't know if you can see him. And one thing that we decided to do when we were in Disney several years ago. And when I carried backpacks with all kinds of stuff in, we actually carried this guy with us everywhere on the cruise, all around the parks, and we actually got different signatures of the different characters. And some of you know that my favorite is Donald Duck, although I do love Mickey Mouse and I love Goofy and that. But another character that is so special to me is Jiminy Cricket. It has all, I kind of grew up with Jiminy Cricket in the sense where, anybody who'd seen Pinocchio, we always had Jiminy on, we heard his voice and the Wonderful World of Disney and in the park. So for the fireworks and stuff, love Jiminy Cricket. And I really want to find him. I would really like to find Jiminy Cricket in the park, and I discovered that he is often seen in Shanghai Disney, but not so much in our neck of the woods in North America. So if anybody knows when Jiminy might come out, let me know. And I have heard though that he does come out for Earth Day. There you go, April 22nd. At any rate, I was trying to go back memory lane when I had this Vinylmation, and I was so excited to see that I actually did see Jiminy Cricket once upon a time, and I've got his signature on there. And I don't know if you guys can see his signature. Jiminy Cricket has a very specific signature. His J always is in the shape of an umbrella. I don't know if you can see that, but I did meet Jiminy Cricket as I first had thought when I was talking to my family, because there's another reason why I want to see Jiminy Cricket. I really want to get a photograph with him again for the back of my fourth book. I'm really that's really in my heart, and I'm hoping I can make that happen. I have until July when I'm there to see if I can work that out. But as I said, I had seen Jiminy Cricket. We have had photos taken, but you know what? So like so many of us these days, we keep our photos on our computer. I mean, I don't know in this digital day and age, if we will actually be able to see him. As Stan said, he's at Rafiki's Planet Watch at Animal Kingdom. Yeah, we had seen them there a long time ago, and I just didn't know if he was around except for that one day. But at any rate, I had my photos in our computer that totally died, and I lost the photos with Jiminy Cricket. So I'm on the hunt for Jiminy Cricket and want to desperately get another photo with him. But I actually was looking on here some of the characters that I kind of forgot about. I've actually got Stitch's signature on here, Pooh's, Flicks, and Chippendales, Goofy, of course, Donald Duck, Pluto, and a few others that I have are actually from some cast members that really touched our hearts. I mean, we all know that there's cast members that really go out of their way, and it was really fun getting a few. I have no idea, of course, where they are now. I have one on there from Melissa from Peru, but at any rate, Stan, he is supposed to be there, and I know that if you want a private meet and greet with one of the characters, it costs about $1,200 on top of some kind of function, which I don't have $1,200 in my pocket to have a photo with Jiminy Cricket. So I kind of have to see if I can find him when I'm there or a little bit before I'm there. But yeah, $1,200. I did check because I was kind of trying to see and make arrangements, because being in Seattle, I mean, I can get to Walt Disney World, but it's not like I can just jump on a flight and, just head over to the other side of the country. Stan says his latest podcast is all about character meet and greets. Yeah, it's very interesting in the different greeting types of situations in the parks. Paris, Disneyland Paris, there's no lineup. It's just kind of a free for all, and you kind of wiggle your way and push your way in, and that's how that kind of works. I'm not too sure if that's a good way to do it, because you could end up maybe getting a little squished, maybe bumped and bruised a little bit, but they seem to have it figured out. They never used to have lineups in Disneyland, actually. They used to always just have the characters frolicking down Main Street, and just, yeah. So it was a very different day and age. Just want to say hi to, oh my goodness, Jungle Bunnies, I think, from Twitch TV. Welcome to the show. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the way you want me to pronounce it, but I gave it a try anyways. At any rate, tell me about your favorite characters. I'm curious to know if you've had any special encounters with one. Something that I learned from a story in the last book with an engagement. It was a really unique engagement, a very unique couple that they're filmmakers that work with the horror genre, and he wanted to propose with Sally and Jack Skellington from A Nightmare Before Christmas. And he waited in line for 2 hours to see the Sally and Jack. And of course, his girlfriend during the lineup, fiance after the encounter, of course, didn't know anything that was going on. But one thing that was very interesting is his sister and her boyfriend were there at the time doing video footage and photos and that. And when there is a proposal done with some of the characters during the proposal actually step out of sight of the camera if you are using a PhotoPass camera, man, just in case the proposal doesn't go the way it's supposed to. So that's kind of a little interesting. They really keep the characters out of that picture frame. But of course, if the proposal goes really well, or the way it's supposed to go, the characters will step in. It was really interesting for me to actually see the whole thing played out on the recording of this fellow's sister, because Jack and Sally were really interesting. I've never lined up to meet them in particular. One day, maybe I will. There's a lot of characters I haven't actually met yet, but they were very much a couple, and Sally and he were talking about the engagement, and Jack was actually using some of the verbiage that this fellow had said in telling his undying love to his fiance at the time. And it was really neat that they really interact. They picked up on, and then Sally commented when they were leaving that they are just meant to be, just like us. And it was very sweet. But yeah, so I found that out. It was kind of interesting that those characters do not want to be in the photo frame in case it doesn't go well. I did hear of a story that, it wasn't funny, I'm sure, of course, at the time, but there was an engagement that was planned that included a lot of fanfare. He had even included like the band and got a huge crowd together. I do not know the particular details, but it was a massive kind of deal for this fellow to propose to his significant other. And it was almost like there were fireworks, especially for them. Not quite, but you can get the idea. It was a huge affair. It's set up for, and she was very shocked and said yes, and then a week later said no. She really didn't want to hurt his feelings after going through all of that. And I thought, oh, that makes me kind of sad a little bit to think about that. But as I said, sometimes it can go well and sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, I just wanted to go on to a couple of other things that besides the character meet and greets. Well, actually, no. Let me back up here. There is one that I want to share with you. It's kind of part of a story in the first book called Ryan's Wish. Ryan is was at that time a wish child, and he's got a lovely, lovely mom, and they've got three other siblings in the family. And it was a really particularly difficult year for them. The parents had separated, and the mom was in charge, of course, of everything, including his medical things. And he has he's doing absolutely fantastically for everything that he has to face with tumors that are inoperable and stuff like that. Anyways, Ryan's wish was to be a cast member at Splash Mountain. And of course, the Make-A-Wish folks and Disney just do fantastic jobs getting the children's wishes. And what was really fun is they actually did get a costume sized for Ryan, and he opened the ride. Of course, the attendants, the cast members are there helping him, but he could also ride the attraction as many times. And I think Kim is the mom's name, said she lost track at 100. But another thing that Ryan is incredible about, he knows everything there is to know about Splash Mountain, things that I'd never even heard of. He knows it all. And it was so fantastic for him to be that cast member for the day. And what they ended up doing as well, and this is why I was kind of thinking about cast members tonight, because there are a lot of cast members, characters, because there are a lot of characters that are not out in the parks. And one of them that was available probably at the beginning of when Splash Mountain was just introduced. I'm sure Br'er and all his buddies were out there. I'm not sure if he's around so much anymore, but at this particular time when they went a few years ago, Disney went and found Br'er for Ryan especially, and Ryan got a one-on-one 1 hour meet and greet with Br'er. And I think it's absolutely fantastic that Br'er could show up and actually interact with Ryan for the whole day. I'd love to see that whole group of that whole bunch from Splash Mountain out and about. I think it would be so much fun. Bears are fun. I mean, the bears that we see from the Jamboree is they're just a hoot and a half. I don't know if any, I could still see that show every single time, see something different, and just love that baby bear in particular. But I just would love to see some of those characters come out again, and so that the kids can kind of get to know them again. Just want to say hi to Danny, who has joined us this evening. Welcome, Danny, to the show. They have their own podcast, actually. And so it's nice that you've joined me tonight. So at any rate, if you want to share about a meet and greet that you had with a character, call in to 844-483-4763, or you can message me as well. I'm watching the messages. Stan, what a great unique wish it was. And there are so many unique wishes that Disney fulfills for the Make-A-Wish children. It's wonderful. Something that also I just wanted to add to that about the Make-A-Wish children. You will probably notice, or if you haven't, next time you're at a parade, take a look. If there are the Make-A-Wish children around, you will see their blue shirts on, or some other, sometimes there's some other charities or children that are maybe in hospital bed type wheelchair / beds. The cast members in the parades all make a special effort to see these guys and wave to them, and it's absolutely lovely. There is a cast member that is a friend of mine now, who lives actually locally here nearby, and she recalls one encounter. She was actually doing street kind of safety and all that at Hollywood Studios. She was actually worked in one of the shops, but she wanted to, she was on duty for that, because a lot of them come out of the shops at that time and help do crowd control for safety reasons. And this happened actually right by the sort of that info place right at the beginning of Hollywood Studios when you walk in. And at any rate, uh, the parade was on, and Jafar, who of course is very tall, very foreboding, and very serious, caught sight of this little girl who was actually nonverbal. She was in a kind of a hospital bed slash wheelchair, and you could tell she was alert, of course, in and aware of the parade. And something that was absolutely beautiful was Jafar left the parade and he walked slowly over to this little girl and did a very royal bow to her. And that is one of the meeting between Jafar and this little girl that my friend Sarah will never, ever, ever forget. And it brings tears to my eyes to think about that, because it was just so uh just humbling, really, to see a character like that just make that effort and bow to this little one, suffering in her chair. At any rate, Stan said he got his picture with Robin Hood and some of the Merry Men. That was for a DVC event along with Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Oh my gosh, there are so many people I hear that grew up with Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. So they do bring out some of these characters for these special events. That is so fun. I have never had a photo with the Rescue Rangers, but as Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but Chip and Dale will be fun. And I've never had a photo with Robin Hood and his merry men, which would have been really fun. Were they as merry as they are supposed to be, Stan? And Stan is asking, how long would the lines be for Orange Bird? Good question. Don't know if any cast members are on here that could answer that. Want to welcome Michael Wolf to the show. Michael, we're just talking about special character meet and greets and some of your favorite characters that you have had a chance to meet. And Stan says the Merry Men were as merry as what they have been made out to be. Jiminy can be found. For you that have just joined, I really want to see Jiminy Cricket again, that I had seen years ago and lost all my photos for him on my now defunct computer. But Jiminy can be found in Tokyo and on some cruises. Well, I'm not too sure if Jiminy will be on an Alaskan cruise. I might be a little too cold for Cricket. I'm actually heading, just booked my, did my check-in actually today for the Alaskan cruise that I will be joining about 170 different Disney Facebook friends on. Very excited about that. That will be in May 18th. Not sure if any of you online. I know Stan is heading there with his wife. And then we get off the ship on the 25th and I head over to Walt Disney World on the 27th, because there is anybody in the Orlando area want to catch some fantastic Irish dancing competition. The North American Irish Dance Championships are going to be near Disney World in Orlando. So we are going for that. My sons are dancing on the 30th, and then we're going to have some fun in the park. And it's always fun. I just got this in the mail today, and it's always exciting just getting a little piece of Disney arriving in your mail that tells you your vacation starts right now. I wish it did, but it doesn't quite start right now. I do think I can start booking some things or whatever. And one thing I can ask you guys, Stan says, isn't it in June? Did I say May? Maybe I said May. Yeah, it's June 18th to June 25th. I might have said May. Wishful thinking, I guess, Stan. At any rate, I was, it always tells you when your vacation starts in the book, but it doesn't tell you when it ends. And I honestly don't know exactly how long I booked for. And when I went on to my Disney Experience, it told me that I had booked till the 7th of July. But on the 7th of July, it told me that I was actually staying at Fort Wilderness as well. So I'm not sure if that is including the 7th or not. So I'm going to have to give them a call tomorrow and double check what I did book, because I want to make sure that I have what I need. And yes, it's called Mickey Mail, and sometimes that Mickey Mail comes when you least expect it. That's for sure. I'm going to check also on some of the other cruises for Jiminy Cricket. We do have one booked in August as well, so I'm not too sure which cruises my hubby was referring to that Jiminy might be on there. Oh, Stan. Yeah, I must have mistakenly said May 18th. I'm sure there's a cruise. Yeah, there are cruises going up to Alaska in May. I think one of the first ones is mid-May to Alaska, which could be pretty chilly at that time. So June should be a little bit warmer, I hope. Anyways, I wanted to just talk about a park that kind of gets a little bit pushed to the side because it doesn't have a lot of refurbishment happening in it at all. And nothing totally new in it as well, but it's one of my favorite parks, and that's Epcot. Some of you that have joined us may or may not have gone to a park, but I'll tell you, Epcot, particularly what I love about Epcot is the World Showcase. There's something about being able to experience another country, just walking from country to country. And I love most of the World Showcase, but one of my favorites that I always visit is the Canadian Pavilion because, well, I'm Canadian, and it's kind of fun to check out the cast members' name tags to see if they are from there, from maybe my neck of the woods where I used to live in Canada. At any rate, if you have not been to the Canadian Pavilion ever, I highly recommend going to see the movie because it really shows in the 360 manner that it's presented. It really does show my Canada, which is absolutely beautiful. And I get teary just thinking about it and talking about it. It is such a beautiful place to visit. And I hope that you are lucky enough to one day visit there. But it is a lovely, lovely presentation on film. And it's also kind of fun to see Martin Short presented, who's also Canadian, and some of the other Canadians that have made it big in the US and North America's film actors and so on and so forth. And I'm always surprised. It's like, wow, you forget sort of your folks in Canada, how many have actually done very well in the US. And and Martin Short, of course, is one of those really great comedians, I think. And so anyways, just go check it out. Go try a coffee crisp or a chocolate bar in Canada. We always stop there to grab our fix when we are at Epcot as well. Stan Solo, sure, Epcot is getting love. Got Galaxy, a new video in China, and a new attraction in the French Pavilion. Yeah, in the France Pavilion. They are getting little things, making little changes here and there. I still liked the old things. I still liked the other pavilions that they had there. I should say attractions that they had there. But of course, it is time sometimes to reinvent a few things. Another pavilion that I really love is the Norwegian Pavilion. And I noticed that their store that in the Norway Pavilion that I really like with the sweaters and the coats has really kind of gotten small. But my favorite perfume is in the Norway Pavilion, and it's called Layla. And some of you know what that is because it's the perfume you will always smell when you walk around in the shop. So that's another one of my favorite. Something I was just gonna mention I forgot about to talk about in the Canadian Pavilion because they have the performers there. When they had Off Kilter there years ago, the band that would perform there, I thought I just wanted to check out to see if any of them were actually Canadian. And out of all the band members, one was Canadian and one was married to a Canadian. So I was kind of glad that they had a little bit of that in there as well. I don't know who the band is right now. I have to probably go take a listen next time I'm there. If anybody on here knows who the performers are in the Canadian Pavilion. Stan, if they redo the Canadian film, who would you pick to host it? Would you keep Martin Short? Well, if they are going to change the film, I would definitely pick somebody else. Who would I pick? Well, William Shatner would definitely be an interesting fellow on there, wouldn't there? If he was part of that, I don't really know who I would pick for that. That I'll have to think about that. But I think it would be nice to have a fresh voice and a fresh face for that as well. If they're going to have a new film. What is your favorite pavilion stand? Do you have a particular go-to one? Another pavilion that I really like is the German pavilion, especially at Christmas. And I really like and enjoy to eat there. And, the buffet is absolutely lovely. My heritage is actually Austrian. If we look at me being Canadian, Austrian and Irish and Hungarian. So I grew up with some of those foods. My grandparents would make them, but I really love the traditional German music. And I really like, there's a special beer. I'm not going to pronounce it right, but it's a grapefruit beer and it's absolutely lovely to have one on a hot, hot day. Stan Solo, William Shatner would be my pick as well. My favorite is China and Japan. Yeah, I can imagine Will Shatner kind of doing his little Star Trekky thing at the beginning. That would be kind of fun. Your favorite is China and Japan. How so, Stan? Why are those why would you have China and Japan as your favorite? I know, do you guys remember when they had the candy maker outside of the Japanese pavilion? It was kind of like a fondant that she would I guess sculpt with her fine little tweezers and tools to do the beautiful animals. She'd ask, somebody standing around her what animal, and she would do any of them, and she'd add a little color, and they were absolutely beautiful. And I remember they used to give those away to the people that had wanted to have one of the animals made. And now they don't anymore. I know that they were selling them, but something that I discovered there a few years ago, and now I buy it in our regular grocery stores, is the mochi ice cream. Guys, if it's a hot day, go to the Japanese pavilion, and they have these little sort of the little kiosks in between the buildings, and they have a sort of a refrigerator and a freezer there, and they have this little box of what is called mochi ice cream, and it's ice cream within a kind of a rice dough with kind of powdered sugar on that houses the ice cream so it doesn't melt in your hand. Oh my word, they're the best. Try them all. They're so good. And I think I'm going to have mochi ice cream for dessert tonight. I don't think we have any, but I could run out and get it. But it's so delicious. Stan, have you had the mochi ice cream there? Yeah. Stan says you forgot about her. I know she was absolutely lovely. I remember her, just creating these amazing things. But I mean, like some cast members, they don't stay there forever. They go back to their homeland or whatever. And last time I was in the Japanese pavilion, they actually had moved the oyster bar, I'll call it for lack of a better word, where they pop open the oysters and you can see what pearl size you get in that, which is really fun to see. And they've actually moved that out of the side, and it's a little bit of a smaller area now. I think you could still get a pearl from a live oyster down by the Yacht and Beach Club as well. We've managed to do that a couple of times, but it's always fun to hear their little presentation and their drum beat and all that. At any rate, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. And any of you that have joined me, left a comment or whatever, I am going to be drawing for the Wonka bar for tomorrow. And something that I kind of want to end with, because it's just kind of fun. I have my Disney astrology book, and for March 19th today, the character in it is actually Nemo. And I loved Finding Nemo, really did, and loved Dory and all that. Because I can kind of relate to Dory as Dory a little bit. Anyways, today, March 19th, for Nemo, if it's your birthday, you are curious, friendly, and determined, and your magical gifts, like Nemo, you long to see the world and meet new people. Nemo's gifts are courage, cooperation, trust, and a lucky fin. And keys to your success is considering the wisdom of others along with your own. So that's my little thing with Nemo today. And I just wanted to thank you all for joining me. I'm going to keep the show a little bit shorter tonight because I do have actually a bit of a cold. I don't know if my voice sounds a little different today, but I have been kind of struggling with a little bit of a cold, and I've got to get over it before heading to Scotland in a week's time. Actually, I'll be flying, as I would have normally been podcasting, to Glasgow, and we'll check out the Disney store there for everybody, and I'll do a live stream of that and post that so you can join me for a little bit of Scotland while I'm gone. And the following Monday, I will be on a plane flying back. So I will see you in a few weeks' time. Take care, everybody. And yes, Stan, the ice cream sandwich in the French Pavilion for sure. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Take care and be safe. Bye for now.